In 1628, the proudest moment for Sweden was about to become its most profound tragedy. Stockholm harbor buzzed with anticipation for the maiden voyage of the asterisk Vasa, a warship hailed as a floating fortress, a symbol of burgeoning Swedish power. A royal audience gathered on shore, eager to witness its grandeur. But as the Vasa set sail, a fatal flaw revealed itself. The ship's massive cannons, too high and too heavy, had made her dangerously top-heavy. A sudden gust of wind, a mere breath, was enough. The Vasa heeled violently, water surged through her open gun ports, and with astonishing speed, she sank, disappearing beneath the waves in full view of her heartbroken countrymen. It was a catastrophic end to her very first voyage. Yet 333 years later, the asterisk Vasa would rise again, a remarkably preserved testament to ambition, engineering, and the unforgiving power of the sea. The year is 1571, and the fate of the Mediterranean hangs precariously in the balance. Imagine it, the vast, shimmering expanse of the Gulf of Patras, suddenly alive with the thunder of war. On one side, the formidable crescent of the Ottoman fleet, a seemingly unstoppable tide of power. But arrayed against them, a desperate alliance, the Holy League, a united front of Christian nations. Hundreds of galleys, like angry wasps, converged, their wooden hulls groaning as they met. Cannon smoke choked the air, a suffocating shroud over the brutal ballet of boarding actions. The decks ran slick with blood, a testament to the sheer ferocity of the struggle. Yet, against all odds, the Christian forces prevailed. The Ottoman reign of dominance in the Mediterranean was shattered, a decisive victory that allowed Europe, for a time, to breathe again. For centuries, humanity gazed at the heavens, convinced of their central place in the cosmos. The earth, they believed, stood motionless, the undisputed heart of all creation, a truth enshrined by doctrine and tradition. But in the quietude of 1543, a revolution began, not with swords, but with celestial observation. A humble scholar, Nicolaus Copernicus, dared to question this deeply held conviction. His radical idea, born from meticulous study, was breathtakingly simple, yet utterly seismic. The sun, not the earth, was the fixed center. The planets, including our own Earth, were merely wanderers, dancing in orbit around this fiery star. This was more than just a new theory. It was a profound challenge to millennia of established thought, a radical reimagining of our place in the universe that would forever revolutionize astronomy. Imagine a time when the promise of gold lured thousands to a harsh, unforgiving land. In 1854, on the dusty plains of Ballarat's goldfields, that promise soured. Miners, toiling for a fortune, were burdened by unjust taxes and the oppressive requirement of costly licenses, fees they felt were ripping them off. Frustration simmered, then boiled over, a rebellion brewed, fueled by a burning sense of injustice. They raised a new banner, the iconic Eureka flag, a symbol of their defiance, and fortified their makeshift camp into a stockade. Then, under the cloak of a brutal dawn raid, government troops attacked. The ensuing clash was swift and bloody, leaving dozens dead. But in that sacrifice, a spark was ignited. The Eureka Stockade, a desperate fight for freedom, became a pivotal moment, a potent declaration that helped forge the very foundations of Australian democracy. The year is 31 BC. Rome, a republic teetering on the brink, was consumed by a bitter civil war. At its heart, a clash of titans. The ambitious Octavian against the formidable Mark Antony, who had thrown his lot in with the captivating Egyptian queen Cleopatra. Their destinies and the fate of an empire were about to collide. Two colossal fleets, bristling with soldiers and ambition, converged off the coast of Greece, near a place called Actium. Then the unthinkable. In the heat of battle, Cleopatra's ships suddenly broke formation and fled. In a stunning display of devotion, or perhaps desperation, Antony abandoned his men, his fleet, and the fight itself to follow her. Octavian's victory was absolute, a turning point that would not only end the Roman Republic, but forge the dawn of an unprecedented empire. Imagine a world choked by iron. For centuries, it was the backbone of industry, but iron production was slow, expensive, and the metal itself prone to flaws. Then, in 1856, a revolutionary spark ignited the Industrial Revolution. Henry Bessemer, a man with a bold vision, conceived of a radical idea. What if you could purify molten pig iron not with slow, costly methods, but with a fierce, powerful blast of air? This audacious concept, when realized, transformed iron into something extraordinary. By forcing air through the molten metal, impurities were oxidized, burned away, leaving behind a far stronger, cheaper material, steel. Suddenly, the impossible became possible. Steel, abundant and affordable, would soon reshape the very landscape of civilization, building the soaring skyscrapers that scraped the clouds, laying the vast networks of railways that crisscrossed continents, and underpinning the mighty empires of the age. This was the moment the modern world began to be forged. Imagine a world at its peak, a vibrant Bronze Age where mighty empires stretched across the Mediterranean. Then, without warning, from the waves emerged a terrifying force. They were the Sea Peoples, their origins shrouded in mystery, their ships appearing on the horizon like a harbinger of doom. They swept across the known world, a whirlwind of destruction. The mighty Hittites crumbled, the proud Mycenaeans vanished. Even the formidable Egyptians were pushed to the brink, their land ravaged. These invaders, appearing as suddenly as they disappeared, left behind a trail of ashes and a shattered world. Their arrival was the thunderclap that heralded the end of an era, plunging the Mediterranean into a centuries-long dark age, a period of collapse and uncertainty, whose echoes we still feel today.